Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so excited for today's video. This is going to be my first wrap-up video, so all the books that I read in August. I'm so excited that it's finally fall. Not really here in Texas so much, but I'm ready for all the fall vibes. I already have my Halloween cup. I got my Grinch shirt on. Bring it on. First, and actually only paperback book and series that I read this month was The Elite by Kiera. This is book number 2 in the selection series. I did enjoy this one. I thought that they carried on the story really well. However, the love triangle in this series is just so frustrating. The main character, she's so problematic. She gets on my nerves. The selection series is about the next king, who is going to be King Maxon. He is looking for his queen. So there's a selection process, almost kind of like The Bachelor. That's what a lot of people compare it to, but I would say it's like Bachelor with royalty vibes. So I gave this one a 4-star because, like I said, it was good. It just wasn't as fast-paced as the first one. I gave the first one a 5-star. The book that I read in August is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I gave this one a 3.5 star. I didn't think it was as thrilling as it could have been. This is a story about Pip, who does a project on an old murder case in her hometown. So Pip starts interviewing all the people that could have been involved and maybe known about her last whereabouts before she was murdered. So I didn't like that this book really showed her diaries. Every time Pip did a diary, it would just reiterate everything that we've learned. And so I just honestly skipped over all of those parts. Other than that, I thought it was good. They ended it really well. It just wasn't the best thriller in my opinion. So 3.5 stars for me. The next one was also a mystery/thriller. It is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I really enjoyed this one. It's so popular and I understand why it's popular. It was fast-paced, it was thrilling, it kept me guessing like what the heck. So if you don't know, this story follows a married couple, Nick and Amy, and they are celebrating their 5-year anniversary when Amy suddenly disappears. I thought this book was very fast-paced, it was great. It kept me guessing. The only thing that I had to take half a point off of is it spends like a quarter of the book just explaining Nick and Amy and their relationship, which I would say sets a good foundation, but it took a while to get into the actual story. That is the only reason that I would say it's 4.5 stars. Other than that, I thought it was really a great mystery. The next book that I read in August is Wonder by R.J. Pelacio. This story follows Augie, who is entering the public school system in 5th grade for the first time. He has been homeschooled because of a facial deformity, and so he's experiencing school, friendships, a little bit of bullying going on, and what that's like. And wow. This book I love so much that it's told from Augie's point of view. You really get to see Augie's world. I mean, how his family even copes with him going to school and supports him through that. I love the friendships that you see that form. It was also 5 stars for me. It was so sweet, especially because I'm trying to be a teacher. I loved following this story and seeing from a child's point of view what that can look like and maybe how scary it is. The next book that I read in August that was my favorite book, and probably one of my favorite books of all time, is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. There's a reason that this book is popular, and boy, it lived up to it. This story follows Linus Baker, who is a caseworker, and he has been assigned to the house with the 6 most dangerous children. And there's a little bit of magic as well. I love this book because the children are so funny. Some of them are so sweet. Some of them are so quirky. I loved all the characters in this book. It felt real, the connections that are formed. It was just a very magical story, and it dealt a lot with like self-identity and how to become part of a family and what a home looks like as well. I love all of those topics, and I think T.J. Klune did a very good job with this book. He kept it lighthearted, adventurous, whimsical, and yeah, it was just such a sweet book. 5 out of 5 for me. The final book that I read in August was The Midnight Library by Haig. This book follows Nora, who is met in the Midnight Library is kind of like the halfway point between life and death, and it is filled with all books that deal with the decisions that you made in life. Each book has a different consequence. That's about as much as I can say because I can't give away too much. This one was only 3.5 stars for me, and I'll tell you why. Some of her interests and some of her decisions are kind of boring and weird to me. She's into swimming, she's into glaciology, she's into... I'm just not into that stuff, and so whenever it came to her dealing with those things, I thought it was kind of boring, and I thought this book started off really strong and kind of just tapered off a little bit after that. If it would have kept up the momentum and maybe not gone so much into Nora's life, I know that sounds sad to say, maybe it would have been a little bit higher for me. So I think it was 3.5 stars. I will say Matt did a very good job at touching a little bit on mental health and depression without going too deep into it. So props to him for that. But yeah, this is 3.5 stars for me. Those are all the books that I read in August. I hope you enjoyed this wrap up. This is going to be one of many. I'm so excited to start doing this. If you want to follow my Goodreads account, I will link that below. And I just want to say thank you. If you have any recommendations, please share. If you had any other thoughts about these books, I'd also love to hear that as well. I can't wait to see you in September. Bye!